Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. This is my first public speaking event at REBNY, so I'll take a moment to introduce myself. Maybe I can skip that part. My name is John Banks, and I'm the incoming president of the Real Estate Board of New York. And I want to welcome you to the 12th Annual Commercial Management Leadership Breakfast. Unfortunately, Steve Spinola could not attend this morning, but I'm very pleased that it allows me to introduce myself and honor some of our unsung heroes in the industry. Typically at these types of events, at the end of the program, you thank your staff. I want to do that up front. I want to thank Angela Song-Pinsky and her team for putting together this morning's program and breakfast, and so please join me in giving them a round of applause. Running a commercial building can be a lot like running a small city. It requires leadership, management, knowledge, and teamwork. Running high-quality, high-service commercial buildings that make up the iconic New York City skyline, well, that requires the best in class. And it is at this breakfast where we highlight the very best of our industry by saluting all of you here, and where we call attention to workers who compromise the heart and soul of our industry. Now, let me acknowledge some of our partners in labor who are here with us. Cuba Brown and Howard Stiles of Local 94. Thank you, and a special welcome to my good friend Hector Figueroa of 32BJ. And now, before handing over the program to the Chief Operating Officer of Vornado Realty and Trust and Chair of REBNY's Commercial Management Board of Directors, Gaston Silva, I would also like to mention 3 organizations that are worthy of your attention. The first is the Real Estate Associate Program, which is the industry's leading diversity educational and training program. REAP will relaunch in New York, creating a pathway for talented professionals of multicultural backgrounds to enter into the commercial real estate industry. Second is Shashama, which supports New York City-based artists by providing underutilized spaces to create and exhibit their work. Finally, we are proud to announce that 1/2 of the proceeds of this morning's event will be donated to the Police Foundation. And now, let's begin this morning's program. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Gaston Silva.
Thank you, John, and welcome. We all look forward to working with you in the years ahead. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this year's Commercial Management Leadership Breakfast. On behalf of the Real Estate Board of New York, the members of the Management Division Board of Directors, and the Commercial Management Council, I would like to thank you for your continued support of this wonderful event, which we host every year, to honor the very hard work, dedication, and excellence of New York City's commercial real estate management professionals. This is about you guys. We salute you. Thank you for coming. I would also like to recognize the members of this year's Breakfast Planning Committee who are all wearing white boutonnieres. Please give them a hand for their hard work. It is because of their hard work that this event is such a success each and every year. I would also like to thank our generous sponsors, and you can see them listed on the back of the program, which is at your table, of the journals. Over the past year, we have continued to make advances in the commercial property management industry, especially on sustainability and regulatory issues, by working with the de Blasio administration, the City Council, and various state officials. Members of our committees provide expertise that helped ensure that the city's recently passed air code update improves quality of our air without putting unreasonable burdens on our property owners and managers. We have also worked to secure the renewal of the state's brownfield program for another decade. Our members continue to play a key role in advising the city on ways to reduce carbon emissions and developing strategies to address the shortage of site safety managers, which is a huge issue. We're working with the Department of Buildings to ensure that they have sufficient resources, and we are providing input on the Public Service Commission's proceedings to reform the energy vision for New York City. This is very important work, and we look forward to continuing to improve our industry for years to come. But there's more to commercial property management than laws and regulations and violations, which we're all too familiar with. As everyone in this room knows firsthand, the day-to-day management of commercial buildings is hard work that often goes unrecognized. From the security professional in the lobby, to the engine room staff, to the management team, every staff member at a commercial property needs to be working to the best of his or her abilities, coordinating with each other, communicating, and staying informed about changes to and advances in our industry. Today's breakfast is our chance to recognize this hard work and to spotlight and thank the top professionals in the field for the effort they make each and every day. We always receive a huge number of exceptional nominations for our awards, and this year has been no different. With so many outstanding nominees, decisions were very difficult to make. I assure you that all of our award winners this morning truly are the best in their fields. So without further ado, I would like to present the first award of the morning, the On-Site Manager of the Year Award, to Enzo Paternostro of Hines. For nearly a decade, Enzo has been the on-site manager at 750 7th Avenue, a 35-story, 600,000 square foot office tower that won a 2009 Toby Award under his leadership. In 2011, Enzo was instrumental in supporting and guiding the sale of the building to Foster Lane Management Corporation, and its tremendously well-managed operations were a significant factor in the high level of interest from potential buyers. Enzo and his team were responsible for achieving a more than 95% satisfaction rating, pretty amazing, in independent third-party surveys, and the property achieved and continues to maintain the Energy Star label and a LEED Silver certification. Both designations, as well as the superb maintenance of the property and the high level of services provided, were integral in convincing the building's anchor tenant to renew and expand their presence in the building and extend their lease term through 2037. These significant accomplishments would not have been possible without Enzo's tireless dedication, his work ethic, and his ability to galvanize a team to common goals. Please help me congratulate Enzo Paternostro.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am deeply honored and grateful to have been selected as the REBNY On-Site Manager of the Year. I would like to express my gratitude to the selection committee and congratulate all the other nominees and winners today. I am very pleased to receive this award on behalf of my firm Hines and my building owners Foster Lane. I would also like to thank Andrew Cook for this nomination. He has been a great leader, mentor, and friend who has always provided support and guidance. Being chosen for this award is a great honor, and I cannot express enough my excitement and appreciation. As a property manager, we all face challenges every day, but with the support of a great team, an outstanding firm, a supportive family, I've been able to rise up and achieve all my objectives while gaining outstanding experience and creating many meaningful relationships. I am here to say, however, that the REBNY On-Site Manager of the Year Award is not an individual award, but one earned with the support and recognition of my property team, the vendors who support us daily, and the tenants who motivate and inspire us to provide the highest standard of service we can. Again, I am pleased to receive this award. Thank you for your choice and trust in me. I will do my best to honor this achievement. Thank you again.
I would now like to introduce Michael Griffin to present the John M. Griffin Community Service Award.
morning. The John M. Griffin Award is presented annually to a person who has displayed an outstanding commitment to helping community organizations. It's an award named after my brother John Griffin, who worked at the World Trade Center for Silverstein Properties and who we lost on 9/11. John was well known for being dedicated to community services. These services included the Torch Foundation, the Fresh Air Fund, and Hope with Heart, a summer camp for children with heart defects. This year we honor William DeCunto of Silverstein Properties. Bill is the Executive Vice President of Operations at Silverstein Properties, and he's responsible for the entire company portfolio. Despite being so busy, Bill has dedicated time to helping his community. He's a founding board member of Donate 8, an organization formed to raise awareness of organ donation registration. Bill has also dedicated himself to other charitable activities, including the New York Blood Center and City Harvest. Bill received a special award for all-around excellence in corporate social responsibility from City and State Reports in 2015. He also received the Corporate Management Executive of the Year Award in 2005. Bill has been a member of REBNY since 1992, and he proudly serves on the board of directors. Bill leads by example and clearly has a passion for helping others and the community. It is my pleasure to present this year's John M. Griffin Community Service Award to Bill DeCunto.
Good morning. This is a great honor for me. I'm a little choked up. You have to let me get through it. And I'll tell you why it's such a great honor in a minute. I just want to say a few thank yous first. First to the Management Board of Directors, and in particular Gene Boniberger, for nominating me. It's always a great honor to be recognized by your peers. Second thank you is to my family for their loving support. My wife and daughter are here today. Third is to Larry Silverstein and the Silverstein family, who have supported every community service endeavor that we've ever been through. I can't say enough about the support they've given us. It's a culture at the company, and I can't thank them enough. But last but not least, I'd like to thank my team, who are sitting at various tables over there, because obviously I'm not doing these things by myself. Without their dedication, support, and making all of these community service initiatives happen, none of this would be possible. So this is not really an award for me. I know everybody says that, but it's true. This is a team award. I'm accepting it on behalf of Silverstein Properties. Lastly, a quick story. In July of 2001, when Silverstein took over the net lease of the World Trade Center, we just began to hire people to fill out the staff. The first person we hired was this big, tall dude by the name of John Griffin, who loved sports, who loved the Giants. We brought him on board, and John and I worked very closely from July 2001 until September 2001. John happened to be the last person that I spoke to on the 88th floor of One World Trade on 9/11 before I left the office for a meeting. I told him I'd be back in an hour and we'd meet. Of course, that never happened. For those of you who may not know, John was able to get untold people out of the building. And if that's not the ultimate in community service, I don't know what is. So I am so proud to accept this award today. Thank you all.
It is now time to present the Corporate Management Executive of the Year Award. This year's award goes to Michael Prunty, Vice President of Property Management at Empire State Realty Trust, and a valued member of REBNY's Commercial Management Council. Michael oversees Empire State's property managers and helps them anticipate tenant requirements and keep the buildings in their portfolio competitive. Michael's brilliant work has helped to ensure a seamless transition during Empire State's public offering and consolidation in 2013, which involved unifying and standardizing procedures for their New York and Connecticut offices and retail properties. Always professional and courteous, Michael's colleagues say that he is an absolute pleasure to work with, and that his dedication inspires his team to always improve. This is no surprise to me. When I joined Vornado 16 years ago, I met Michael, who was a young man, obviously tremendously talented, with a very, very bright future. This year's Corporate Management Executive Award goes to Michael Prunty of Empire State Realty Trust. Michael?
Thank you, Gaston. Good morning. Congratulations, fellow recipients. Thank you, REBNY, and those who nominated and supported me. I am honored to receive this award. I have been fortunate in my 20 years in this industry to have worked for and with many great people, great leaders who have mentored, influenced, and guided me. From my early years at Menda Company, to Vornado, to Newmark, and now currently to Empire State Realty Trust. Among the individuals who I'm grateful, some of who are in attendance today, include Mike Downey, who gave me my first opportunity, Steve Sanitas, Gaston Silva, Martin Dresner, Joe Bellina, Jeff DeWart, Richard Heller. There are also two mentors of mine no longer with us, unfortunately, John Griffin Jr. and Nick Catanella, who I am tremendously grateful for their influence and guidance early in my career. And I'm sure, like many others here today, who would agree that their time with us was too short and wish we could have yet opportunity for many more impressionable years. I would like to thank Tony Malkin and Tom Durrells for having confidence in my ability and giving me the opportunity with Empire State Realty Trust. The establishment of a public REIT 18 months ago, going from a private company of 140 employees to nearly 900 and transitioning over 10 million square feet, has been nothing short of a challenge. Their vision, hard work, and determination were essential in this process. However, a lot of our success is because of our team, I believe seated at table 18 over here somewhere. I owe them a lot of gratitude and have tremendous respect and appreciation for those individuals who are incredibly dedicated, driven, and work tremendously hard each and every day. Those individuals are largely responsible for making ESRT a success and making my job a lot easier than it could have been. In closing, speak about talented and hardworking individuals. There are many knowledgeable and talented individuals in this industry, particularly in this room today. And similar to my career path experience, I am encouraged and encourage us veterans to continue to take a leadership role with our younger members. Mentor, guide, and support them, who are our leaders tomorrow. I encourage our young members to work hard, be dedicated, don't be afraid to make mistakes, and ask if you have questions. We are fortunate to have the resources and the ability to work together collectively and collaboratively as a team. We should use it to our advantage. And in doing so will come success as individuals, as companies, and as an organization. Best wishes, and thank you very much.
Our next award, the Rising Star of the Year Award, was created to recognize up-and-comers in the field who demonstrate great potential for success in our industry. I am really proud to present this year's award to Daniel Ruanova. Dan began his career with Vornado in February 2007 as an assistant property manager at 770 Broadway. After 1 year, he was transferred to 330 Madison Avenue, where he participated in a critical role in the complete redevelopment of the property, which consisted of a full curtain wall replacement, lobby renovation, elevator modernization, fire alarm upgrade, roof replacements, restroom, and comprehensive mechanical system upgrades, all in a fully occupied building. Upon completion of this redevelopment project, Dan was transferred to One Penn Plaza, a 2.6 million square foot building with a diverse tenant roster. After 6 months, gaining additional experience and management skills in a very complicated building, Dan's career came full circle, and he was promoted to be the property manager at 770 Broadway. Today, Dan is actively involved in managing a rapidly expanding major technology company in the building with a very diverse tenant mix in a very, very exciting building downtown. He is a true professional and represents all the qualities of a rising star within our industry. Let's give Dan a hand.
Good morning, everyone. I first want to thank the Real Estate Board of New York for this award. It's a tremendous honor, and I'm very appreciative. I want to extend a special thank you to Rick Wallace for nominating me and supporting my nomination. Working for Vornado has afforded me the luxury of learning from a number of talented individuals. Not only that, but the support from the top on down is incredible. With that said, I would like to thank the following individuals: Mr. Stephen Roth, Mr. David Greenbaum, Gaston Silva, Glenn Weiss, Steve Sinitas, Bob Larson, Rick Wallace, Roger Larson, Martin Dresser, Niles Lola, and Carlos Lopez, who I cannot thank enough. Additionally, some of the property managers I had the pleasure of working with and learning from include Sean Fallon, Annie Leone, Nicole O'Connell, and Bridget Cunningham. Last, but certainly not least, I would like to thank the building staffs I've worked with, past and present, without whom no work would get accomplished. Me standing up here today is a reflection of all I learned from all of you. So again, many thanks from the bottom of my heart.
I would now like to invite Hector J. Figueroa, president of 32BJ, to the stage to present the Porter of the Year Award. 32BJ represents more than 145,000 building service workers in 11 states and Washington, D.C. Window washers, cleaners, superintendents, doormen, maintenance workers, porters, and security officers. 32BJ is responsible for negotiating contracts on behalf of their members, as well as managing funds that provide health care, training, pensions, retirement savings, and legal service benefits to its members. Hector was elected president at 32BJ in 2012 after serving as secretary-treasurer and New York Metro District Director, and serves on the boards of many organizations. Welcome, Hector.
Good morning, everyone. I want to thank REPNY for the opportunity to present this award. And this is really an award that means a lot to us. The award I'm about to present is this year's Porter of the Year. This award was established in 2011 to recognize the outstanding porters who are the primary caretakers of our tenant spaces and buildings, and who exceed expectations and bring pride to the job every day. This year's winner is a member of 32BJ who has lived up to that expectation and beyond. Declan Cannon, a head porter at 655 3rd Avenue. Let's give him a hand. Declan has been with the DIRS organization for 22 years. Throughout his career, he has committed to improving the properties at which he has worked, and he has never limited his efforts to the cleaning department. In fact, Declan consistently goes above and beyond in many ways by assisting the engineers, construction crews, building office, and any other department whenever he can provide a service. With a smile on his face, Declan does the best possible job and dedicates his time to helping others. If a building emergency occurs, he is always the first person to be on site and stays to the very end. His enthusiasm and passion have shown him to be an excellent porter, and he is very much admired and respected by all of his coworkers. He came originally from Ireland, and he's a vivid example of what 32BJ members can do as part of the team in the real estate industry. Let's welcome our brother, Declan Cannon.
Thank you very much. I'll keep this short and sweet. I would like to thank Luis Esposito for nominating me for this award. I would like to thank the Real Estate Board of New York for honoring me with this award today. I really appreciate it. I would like to thank Hector for presenting me with this award, and I'd like to thank 32BJ Union for all the help they give me over the years. Thank you to the Durst organization and all the people I've worked with over the years. They've been a great company to me and my family, and they're a pleasure to work for. And finally, I'd like to thank all the people that came here today to support me. Thanks a lot, guys. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
Our next award is for the Security Professional of the Year. I am pleased to present the award to Sharon Faulkner of Paramount Group. Sharon is the Emergency Action Plan Director at 712 Fifth Avenue, where she has worked since October of 2012. She is involved in every aspect of security and life safety and keeps the engineers and property management staff well informed of all issues. Whether it's an emergency situation or pending severe weather, Sharon is there, responding to calls and quickly getting things in motion. She is always dependable, even when off duty. Last year, when a car crashed into the lobby of 712 Fifth Avenue around midnight, Sharon took a taxi from her home in Coney Island in the middle of the night to be available as a resource for the on-site staff and help coordinate all efforts. Although Sharon is primarily responsible for ensuring that all the day-to-day life safety matters are attended to at the property, she doesn't stop there. She communicates well and has developed strong tenant relations with all 52 of the tenants of the property, greeting the majority of them by name. She is attentive, passionate, and will always go the extra mile. Even though she has changed buildings, she is still called to prepare guards at her previous buildings for their fire safety director and emergency action plan on-site exams. And she is a great mentor for the entire security staff. Sharon displays a high degree of knowledge and professionalism in her role, and she is a standout in her profession. Please join me in congratulating our Security Professional of the Year, Sharon Faulkner.
Wow, this is awesome. Good morning to everyone. I would like to thank Rebney for honoring me, and wow, this is really awesome. So I have a couple of people that I would like to take this opportunity to thank. To George Flynn, I know you're here somewhere, and Dave Croce. I would like to thank you guys for having confidence in my abilities and the desire to make me a part of the PGI team. To Ralph, I think you're still here. I would like to thank you for making the opportunity of employment with PGI possible, for giving me this platform to demonstrate and display my abilities as a part of the PGI team. Thanks, Ralph. Okay. To Linda Kay and to Cindy Boyer, who made my nomination today for this award possible, and to all the chief engineers, assistant chief engineers, property managers, life safety directors that I have worked with in my tenure under Paramount. Thank you. And to the rest of the nominees, Thank you and congratulations. Thank you.
I would now like to invite Howard Stiles, Training Director at Local 94, to the stage to present both the Small Building Engineer of the Year Award and the Large Building Engineer of the Year Award. Howard has been at Local 94 since 1989, and he has been responsible for training building engineers on subjects as diverse as heating and air conditioning and business writing and communications. The Local 94 staff has always been responsive to the concerns of the industry and ensures that our staff and our buildings are up to date, buttoned down, and have all the latest improvements in technology and sustainability. Howard?
It is my honor to present this year's Small and Large Building Engineer Awards. The Small Building Engineer Award is given to an engineer at a building that is less than 500,000 square feet. This year's winner is James Hollywood, Chief Engineer at 120 West 45th Street, also known as Tower 45. James began his engineering career at Rexon Associates as a chief engineer at Tower 45, a Class A building, and he continued his position after Rexon Associates' merger with SL Green in 2008. He then began managing a repairs and maintenance budget in excess of $300,000 a year and has integrated over 50 capital projects totaling an estimated $17 million. He has implemented projects including a lobby renovation, an atrium renovation, a building management system upgrade that had a one-year payback, and installing a new variable frequency drive system. James and his team of 4 engineers repaired and rebuilt 800 console package heat pump units lining the perimeter of the building, 80 ceiling hung core units which supply the HVAC to the interior areas of 40 floors, and instituted annual in-house labor savings of over $100,000 per year. James is known for his professionalism, high-quality work, innovative energy, and cost-saving techniques, and his outstanding ability to coordinate, direct, and manage all physical operations, maintenance, and repairs. James received the Boma Pinnacle Award in 2008 for Operating Building of the Year. In the under 500,000 square feet category, he holds an RPA FMA designation and is a proud member of Local 94. It is my pleasure to present the Small Building Engineer Award to James Hollywood.
Thank you, Howard. Good morning, everyone. It's a great honor to be here this morning, and I'm very grateful to have received this award. I want to thank the Real Estate Board of New York, especially the representatives of SL Green, Stephen Green, and Mark Holliday. When I came into the industry 26 years ago, I started as a helper on a midnight to 8 shift in downtown Brooklyn. I never would have imagined that I would be standing here one day receiving an award for a job that I absolutely love. In 1989, a 40-story building was being built on 45th Street using package heat pumps instead of a central plant. Having a background in servicing package units as well as heat pumps, my business agent at Local 94 at the time thought I'd be a good fit and set up an interview. Things went very well. On January 1st, 1990, I started at Tower 45. I have to thank the guys at Local 94 for always being able to recognize a good fit when they see one. 1990 to 2015 has been quite a journey. The property's changed hands 3 times, originally going from a family-owned business to now being part of the largest real estate trust in New York City. I've had the honor of working with some of the brightest and best in our industry. Since finding out I won the award, I started to think about what aspect of my job I enjoy the most. The first thing that came to mind was the design of HVAC systems and their controls. Creative use of HVAC controls has allowed me to discover endless cost-saving possibilities, such as a BMS upgrade, where we gained control of over 1,200 pieces of equipment. This not only allowed the building to save money, but we were able to generate income through the sale of overtime HVAC. None of these energy savings projects would be possible without our Executive Vice President, Ed Piccinich. Ed, I'd like to thank you for always providing superior leadership and for establishing the best operations team in New York City. I'd like to thank several members of Ed's team. Liz Mikowski, our Senior Vice President of Operations, thank you for always believing in me and my abilities. Rich Carenti, our Director of Engineering, for always providing fabulous support. Ray Ben-Marito, my portfolio manager, for his trust and his grace with emergency repairs. Michael Geary, my property manager. Michael, thank you for always encouraging new ideas and consistently challenging me, and especially for nominating me for this award today. I would like to thank the leadership at Local 94 as well. Cuba Brown, our president, Tom Hart, my business agent, and Howard Stiles, the director of our training program. Last but not least, I'd like to thank some of the best engineers in the city, my crew, Tony Dixon, Paul Whitner, and Ed Fiala. Thank you very much.
Our second award is for the Large Building Engineer of the Year, which is given to an engineer at a building that is more than 500,000 square feet. This year's nominee is Richard Cromar, Chief Engineer at 601 Lexington Avenue, also known as Citicorp Center. Richard began his engineering career 29 years ago as an engineer's helper at the previous One World Trade Center. While there, he worked countless hours assisting engineers in starting up a 7,000-ton refrigeration plant, as well as efficiently handling his duties in the plant and answering tenant house calls. In 1991, he accepted a position at 280 Park Avenue as a chief engineer, where he was responsible for starting up chiller plants, the maintenance and repair of electronic and pneumatic controls, testing and maintenance of fire suppression system, in addition to assisting with their capital projects, such as the installation of a new plate heat exchanger, plate and frame heat exchanger. In 1997, Boston Properties took ownership of 280 Park, and Rich was appointed chief engineer, becoming one of the youngest chief engineers at that time. After 10 years, he has made chief engineer of 601 Lexington Avenue, an extremely complex multi-use property with extended hours of operation. During his tenure there, Rich has instituted over $650,000 in annual savings on both steam and electric through energy conservation resources. He was also instrumental in overseeing a $2 million building management system upgrade and variable frequency drive installation, as well as, as a result of Richard's steadfast leadership and dedication, the company has successfully opened the building to tenants the day after Hurricane Sandy's devastation. He is dedicated to professional development and has received many licenses and certifications, including New York City refrigeration license, FD&Y combustible materials certification, pesticide application permit, and asbestos awareness training. Richard is an outstanding chief engineer and leader who deserves to be recognized as one of the best in the city. At this time, it is my pleasure to present the Large Building Engineer of the Year to Richard Cromar.
Thank you, Howard. Good morning. I'd like to thank Rebney for this award. It is a great honor for me. Today, for me, is about being thankful and my appreciation for the people that have been in my life and throughout my career. I would like to start off with thanking the person that I have been reporting to for the past 18 years, Mr. Tom Hill of Boston Properties. He has personally guided me and promoted me to where I am today. So on behalf of myself and my family, I thank you, Mr. Hill. Throughout my years at Boston Properties, I thank the property managers that I've worked with, Greg Marin, Pat Dolan, and John McMahon. It has been an absolute pleasure working with them. I thank my engineering staff for everything that they do for me and the building. Out of my appreciation, I share this award with them because it is them that make me look good at what I do. A very special thank you to my wife, Michelle, and my 4 sons. I'm so grateful for their patience and their support. Because as a chief, I work long hours, all types of hours. Sometimes I was at work for days, depending on what the building or the city was experiencing. I left my family at home while I was at work protecting the building, because that's just what chiefs do. I truly thank my wife for understanding. There is no better day than today to thank the person who got me into this wonderful industry. A retired property manager himself, my role model, my father, Helmut Cromar. He too started his career as a Local 94 member and moved up into management. I had the advantage growing up watching him set the example of hard work and dedication, the true definition of work ethic, all while being a great father. He set the bar very high for me, so I thank you, Dad. So what path does a son of a property manager take? What else than immediately after high school graduation, I hit the jackpot and become a member of Local 94 Operating Engineers. So my 29-year amazing journey continues, and I thank everyone for being a part of it. Thank you.
And now we will present the award for New York City's Best Engine Room. Every other award recipient today has known ahead of time that he or she was going to win. Not so for New York City's Best Engine Room. We like to keep the suspense. In other organizations, perhaps we'd have a couple of guys from Deloitte with a briefcase handcuffed to somebody's hand. But in our case, we have Tom Hill, the Senior Vice President of Property Manager at Boston Properties, who knows engine rooms, A, and B, really keeps things close to the vest. Even I don't know who's going to win. Tom?
As they say, the best kept secret since the last episode of The Sopranos. Okay. In 2013, we added a Best Engine Room Award, which recognizes an exceptional engine room. This award recognizes best practices in the fundamentals of operating a building mechanical plant, with emphasis on staff execution, plant management programs, application of technology, and client service delivery. This year, there were 10 nominees to choose from. The Breakfast Planning Subcommittee toured all the nominees' buildings, judging each based on 5 general criteria: housekeeping, overall condition and repair, maintenance and service programs, and critical documentation. As they announced the nominees, will the chief engineer and representatives present for each building please rise and remain standing? 731 Lexington Avenue, 485 Lexington Avenue, 1 Bryant Park, 3 Times Square, 1585 Broadway, 1325 Avenue of the Americas, 350 Fifth Avenue, aka the Empire State Building, 1 New York Plaza, 1 Battery Park, and 80 Pine Street. Every one of these nominees is an impressive and well-operated building. I can say that without reservation. The commitment and ownership demonstrated by these individuals and their staff leaves a memorable impression. And they should be very proud of themselves. So please join me in giving them all a round of applause. You may all be seated now. Again, as in the past, the scores were extremely close, but there is one building that did stand out. It's my pleasure to present this year's Best Engine Room Award to 1 Bryant Park, the Durst Organization.
For our final award, the Edward A. Rigardi Commercial Management Leadership Award, I would like to invite its namesake, our friend Ed Rigardi, to the stage. In 2010, the Management Division Board of Directors unanimously decided to name this award in Ed's honor. Ed has been in the New York commercial real estate industry for over 45 years and has been called the Dean of Property Management in New York. He serves as a special advisor to Jones Lang LaSalle, consulting with the firm concerning the oversight and expansion of its property management team. He has been a member of REBNY since 1969 and is an honorary lifetime member of the Board of Governors. He has played a crucial role in the development of the careers of many of us in this room. He practically invented our jobs. Please welcome Ed Rigardi.
Thank you. Since I'm here 40+ years, I'm going to take the liberty to make a comment. In reading Gene's resume and having the experience of 40+ years in our industry, one of the things we should be proud of, and Gene is one of them as well, how our industry promotes people and keeps people. We start very young in some small position in a building, and we live with the landlords or builders or whatever. And what the most remarkable thing I've always wondered and appreciated is how we grow. And Gene is an example of spending many years with a firm and growing for many years. And I think that's typical in our industry. And I want to recognize Gene and get back to Gene, because he's one of, his resume here, he started in 1987. He joined the Commercial Operations Group, and 12 years later, he assumed responsibility for the day-to-day operations of over 10 million square feet of commercial office property. In 2009, Gene moved into his current position, and in addition to the commercial portfolio, took on management responsibilities for Rudin's million square feet of residential properties and the MEP aspects of all new construction properties. This is a typical, I'd say, maybe 50% of the people who grow in our industry. It's this special relationship we have, not only with each other, and this is a perfect example of the real estate board, how we handle our industry. He proudly serves on REBNY's Management Division Board of Directors, Commercial Council, Residential Council, and the Sustainable Committee. It is my pleasure to present this year's award to Gene Boniberger.
Good morning. Thank you, Ed, for that introduction. First, I'd like to congratulate my fellow honorees. Job well done to all. Looks like a great team I'd have the pleasure to work with. I'd like to thank the Management Board of Directors for selecting me to receive the Ed Rigardi Commercial Management Leadership Award. It's truly an honor, and I'm flattered to be chosen by this group of accomplished individuals to receive the award named for Ed Rigardi, someone who needs no introduction to this group. It's an honor to serve on both the Management Board of Directors and the Commercial Management Council, and to be associated with such a knowledgeable group of people that care enough about this business that we are in to get involved, share information, collective experience in order to meet the everyday problems and larger challenges we all face on a daily basis. I'd like to thank them for the work that they do, and a special thanks to Angela Pinsky and her team, Cindy, Ryan, and Allie, who work every day to keep us focused and on track. They also set this breakfast up in their spare time. I'd like to thank my team at Rudin Management. You can't lead without a team, and I have the best. I'm very fortunate to work with such a dedicated group of individuals that work tirelessly every day on a daily basis to get the job done. From my operations team to my building managers to every last person that works in the buildings. Those are the people that do the hard work. Thank you all for the hard work that they do. This award goes to the team. I'd like to thank my wife, Susan, for her patience and support all these years, whether it's late nights in the office or an important email I may have to answer in the middle of a candlelit dinner. She never complains. Mostly never. Thank you, Susan. Last but not least, I'd like to thank the Rudin family. I've had the privilege of working for this first-class organization for 38 years. I'm sincerely grateful for all the opportunities they've offered me over the years, but what I'm most appreciative of is the trust and confidence they put in me to take care of their buildings with my team. Thank you, Eric, Bill, Michael, Samantha, John Gilbert. It's my pleasure. You guys are the best. Thank you all again for coming. I hope you all have a great summer.
I would now like to welcome back John Banks to the podium to introduce our keynote speaker for today.
Let's give another round of applause for today's honorees. And now I have the distinct honor to introduce today's keynote speaker. Because of the role that building staff play in maintaining public safety, there are fewer industries that understand and truly value the services of the New York City Police Department, more than the commercial real estate industries. Not only is the NYPD charged with providing order and protection to every New Yorker, they protect the trillions of dollars in assets that make up the city's buildings and infrastructures. There is little doubt that NYPD is the leader in municipal counterterrorism intelligence. Often other cities and the federal government look to our police force for programs and strategies for the defense against ever-evolving threats against our cities. So we are honored to welcome Deputy Commissioner for Intelligence and Counterterrorism, John Miller. John first worked with the NYPD Commissioner Bill Bratton in 1994 and then rejoined Commissioner Bratton in Los Angeles in the Los Angeles Police Department in 2003. Last year, Mr. Miller was appointed Deputy Commissioner to oversee both the NYPD's Intelligence Bureau, which is responsible for intelligence collection and analysis, as well as the NYPD's Counterterrorism Bureau operations, including the partnership with the FBI and the NYPD Joint Terrorism Task Force. Finally, many of you will know John from his prior career in television, where he was a noted national and local journalist and investigative reporter. Please welcome NYPD Commissioner John Miller.
Thanks, John. Thanks to Rebney for this opportunity, and congratulations to all our awardees. I've had a fairly checkered past. I think the resume goes NBC News in New York to the NYPD, to ABC News, to the LAPD, to the FBI, to an intelligence agency in Washington, to CBS News, and then back to the NYPD. So now that we've established I can't hold a job, I note the similarity between the building industry, building management, and the NYPD. These are two businesses where if you listen to our awardees, the jobs live within families, but there are also opportunities for newcomers and immigrants. They're passed down, they're shared, and people tend to start at the bottom and stay with them for a long time as they rise to the top. Policing and building management in that regard is a very similar industry. In my career, which is kind of whipsawed back and forth, I look back at different times for different things. I particularly think of the time at ABC News. It was before 9/11. It was after the rebirth of New York, when Commissioner Bratton came through the first time and developed the systems that reduced crime by 70%, things that people thought couldn't be done. I remember that period for me as, having left the NYPD and gone back into journalism, I did things I thought I just would never have the opportunity to do. I ended up co-anchoring 2020 with Barbara Walters. I literally grew up watching her on television, and I was sitting there as her partner. Never thought that was going to happen. Ended up sitting in a cave in Afghanistan with Osama bin Laden, talking to him for an hour while he declared war on America. Never thought that was going to happen. People will often say, when I talk about that period at ABC, what was it like? Really, what was it like sitting that far away from someone with so much dark power who could wield it in such ways, who could just as soon kill you as look at you? And I always said Barbara Walters wasn't really like that. She could be difficult, moody. Other people want to know about bin Laden. And that was interesting, because in that talk, I said, are you worried about being captured or killed by America? And he said, it doesn't matter what America does, because what I'm building towards here is not about any one person, about any one organization. It's about building a network that will become a movement. And as we've seen terrorism shift in its iterations, with New York always as a prime target, we've seen some of that vision come to life. In the Los Angeles Police Department, when I followed Commissioner Bratton there, we built a counterterrorism program. And the LAPD, is very different from New York. You know, when you think of New York, you think of Rebney. New York is about its people, but when you think of New York, what do you see? You see its skyline. That's what's iconic. And, you know, in New York, New York is about money. LA is about fame. Washington's about power. I learned that because I was famous in New York where nobody gave a shit. I had power in LA where that didn't matter unless you played someone with power on television. And then no juice at all in Washington. So it was so much fun to come back to New York and get back in with the New York City police officers. These were the police officers I grew up with. They weren't as thin or as well-built or as squared away as the LAPD, but they certainly had a much better sense of humor and in some ways a better way with people. When I got back, I said, I need to get a sense of these cops and their terrorist awareness. So I went out on a ride-along, and this is the difference between New York and LAPD. We're up in the Bronx. We see a car run 2 consecutive stop signs. They light it up, they stop. There's a woman, and as they approach, she's sitting in the driver's seat, and they make that observation there in the back seat. They see cans of gasoline, and they see samurai swords, and, you know, they put their hands on their weapons. They say, step out of the car. Where are you going? She says, I'm late. I'm late. I'm doing a bar mitzvah. They're like, doing a bar mitzvah what? Is that like a target? She says, no, it's my act. I'm a sword juggler. I juggle flaming swords. The one New York cop looks at the other one, says, I don't believe it. The female officer says, show me. She takes the swords out. She's juggling 2 of them. She says, when I do this in the act, they're on fire. The guy says, get the lighter fluid. She's juggling the 2 flaming swords. She says to the female officer, can you get me the other 2 swords? Now she's got the 4 in flames going up in the air. An old man stops at the stop sign, and I can hear him say to his wife, I'm never drinking again. Look at the test they're giving now. In LA, they would have just given her the 2 tickets. So as we approach this new year, I guess we're here about 18 months now. Commissioner Bratton has been back. We're coming at a theme with the 5 T's. First one is tackling crime. That includes the peace dividend, which is when you've reduced crime by 70 or 80%, what can you give back in terms of community relations? That's focused deterrence and targeted enforcement. But one component is a proposed pilot program in 4 precincts where they get rid of a lot of the specialized units that have found these niches that are different from regular patrol, putting them back on patrol answering calls so that they can develop specialized community officers that can spend that time on the targeted enforcement and find out from one sector to another, what is it that's driving the commercial community crazy? What's bothering the residents? What's irking the people in housing? What are the concerns of the shop owners? What is it that the community is looking for enforcement? And make sure that the enforcement is not just about the numbers, because we can always do more. More summonses, more arrests, more enforcement, but that's just about the numbers. It's about, are we targeting the things that people are concerned with, and are we doing it in a way that is rewarding to the community? A lot of the talk we hear today is about police legitimacy. It's kind of an odd term. I thought we came with legitimacy. We're the police, but it's a conversation sweeping the country that is calling on law enforcement to redefine its relationship with communities, particularly the communities that need it the most. The next T is technology, and that includes a lot of things, but some of them are really remarkable and groundbreaking. One is body cameras, which is part of that police legitimacy movement. Police officers in the beginning are usually very resistant to the concept of body cameras because no other profession, not the lawyers, not the doctors, are called on to record everything they do. But I think increasingly officers find that when claims are made against them, it's the camera that they're wearing. That's not like all the cameras people are holding up on their cell phones. That's the one that's facing out, that can see what's actually occurring. Will actually more often exonerate them from false claims. gather evidence, to facilitate arrests and other things. So the body camera experiment has started. But I think the most exciting piece is the handheld smartphones. This is going to take every one of the 35,000 police officers in New York City, from my standpoint as the head of counterterrorism and intelligence, and expand my force to 35,000, because now I can send out terrorism alerts, pictures of suspects, threat information from the global stream, an attack that occurred overseas in a precinct where you may have a target that's just like the one overseas, and we can do all of that in real time, which we've never been able to do before. Transmit pictures of lost children, suspects, right to police officers with the device on their belts. And expanding it beyond the pilot program is where we are now, which is we're getting 20,000 of these devices that are going to give police officers, for the first time, all the advantages that we have on our smartphones, but access to real-time law enforcement information. The third T, of course, is terrorism. It's the changing model. It's the model that shifts from Al-Qaeda's version of being a secret organization with secret cells and secret plots to the new model we're seeing from ISIS, where they are mass marketing terrorism. It's the Amway version, if you will, where they are putting it out on the web, they're communicating to hundreds of thousands of people in the West, if not millions, over Twitter. They're calling on them to step up and to do attacks on their own with what they have on hand, without checking with the front office or trying to communicate with the mothership. And those conversations can get very personal when they hop off platforms like Twitter and they go onto these new platforms that we can't even collect against because they're all encrypted and they erase themselves as they communicate. If you look at the Garland, Texas attack from a few weeks ago, you see a conversation that started with ISIS on Twitter, moved to another platform, and then 25 minutes before the attack, ISIS is tweeting out, "The knives are sharpened, the blood is about to flow," basically giving a preview of the world to stand by. This is the new model, and it's quite worrisome. Another T, of course, is training. The NYPD is going both high and low in this, going back to basics, but also breaking new ground. We're establishing a full-scale field training program for our newest officers by partnering them with our most experienced officers and specially selected senior officers who will act as coaches and mentors. It's an old model, but it's tried and true, and it works, and we're getting back to it. But we're also taking our most experienced officers who haven't been to the academy in many years and putting them through new training on how to diffuse tense situations, better tools for how to talk to people, better tactics for how to de-escalate things in the street. It was Sir Robert Peel, the founder of Scotland Yard and the London Metropolitan Police, who said the ability of the police to perform their duties is dependent upon public approval of police actions. And that is where we're trying to get in terms of partnership back with the community. Let me just get back to terrorism for a second. The thing that makes ISIS so exciting to the particular demographic they're reaching out to is it's very separate from Al-Qaeda's model. Al-Qaeda's model was one of global jihad. It was a little amorphous. It didn't necessarily have a beginning. It didn't have an end. There was no picture of what winning looked like. ISIS, on the other hand, says, we are the Islamic State. We are a here, we are a now. We've planted a flag, we've got an infantry, we're fighting for territory here in Syria and Iraq. We're taking that territory, and you can come here now, and be one of the founding plank holders of this movement by coming here and fighting for us. It's tangible, it's real, it's not amorphous, it doesn't call for martyrdom and something that may never end. They say, you can be a part of this. That's far more exciting to the groups of 20-year-olds and 30-year-olds they're talking to, especially those people in the margins who have nothing going here. And they're being promised three things: valor, empowerment, belonging. And we're seeing them go, a couple of hundred from the United States, hundreds and thousands from Western Europe and from the Middle East. So how does that translate here? It's the back end of the message that gives us real concern. And that is, if you can't come here and fight with us, Fight for us where you are right now with what you have. Meet us on Twitter. We'll go offline. We can organize something together. And when you look at New York in the context of being the #1 terrorist target in the world, when you look at the real estate industry as a place that has a particular vested interest in that threat, when you see the attack on the World Trade Center in 1993, which Osama bin Laden financed to the point of $20,000, when you look at coming back there on September 11th, which redefined our feelings about safety and security in our own country, also reshaped our skyline, and certainly made us think differently about our jobs in terms of security, we have the advantage in the New York City Police Department, aside from the 5 T's and a new style of policing, of relying on what our predecessors, Commissioner Ray Kelly, and in my case, Deputy Commissioner Dave Cohen, built as a counterterrorism infrastructure. And we are continuing to build on top of that to make it better, to make it smarter, and to make sure that it shifts and morphs to fit the threat as it shifts and morphs by the terrorist organizations. That's programs like SHIELD. There's probably not an organization in this room that isn't a member of the NYPD SHIELD program, where we communicate out the threat stream every day, from crimes that are happening in progress in Midtown Manhattan to things affecting banks, bank robberies, frauds, but also the terrorism information. The Sentry program, it's a network of law enforcement organizations, because we understand that beyond New York City, there's Nassau, there's Westchester, there's New Jersey, hundreds of police departments that need to be within our network, because the network is the important thing. It's having those relationships. It's what we've been doing in the active shooter program. I spoke to Lou Tromboli today, who said, we are training the private security people from the real estate community, the building management world, the Sharon Faulkners of the community, in what to do in the active shooter situations up until the police get there. With the Durst organization, we just did a live active shooter drill at a key property in the middle of the night, where we had a couple of hundred people, role players, victims, bad guys, building security, people who are armed, security people who are unarmed, fire, EMS. And we went through that drill looking for what were the stress points, what could we do better, how could we make that stronger? And we couldn't have done that without the cooperation of the building management people and the building owners. When you talk about those relationships, you know, the names flew across the room today during the awards. I mean, what better partners do you have in this business than Silversteins, the Rudins, the Dursts? They've all been key in the real estate business, but also they've been key partners of the Police Foundation, which funds so much of this that falls between the margins of what we can do within our regular budget. So this is about countering that network that Osama bin Laden imagined in that conversation we had in that cave back in Afghanistan in 1991. The network that he was talking about that would grow into a movement. And we've been winning. And why have we been winning? We've been winning because our network is stronger. Our relationships are tighter. Our partnerships run deeper. And when I look out in this room and think of Rebney, the companies, the people, hey, Sharon Faulkner, come back up here. The security people especially, come on. Yeah, you. And those partnerships, it's our relationships with the managers and so on, but it's also the people on the front line. So this is the coin of the Intelligence Bureau of the New York City Police Department.
Oh, wow, thank you.
Thanks very much. You're very welcome.
Thank you.
Well, before you thank me, it won't get you on the subway. Won't help you get in from Coney Island when a car drives through the front window of the building. But if you're ever in a bar and there's a bunch of detectives from the intelligence division, they call it a challenge coin. If they put their coin down and they challenge you and you don't pull your coin down and put it down on the bar, you're buying for everybody. So it can be an expensive prize, but thank you. Thank you for what you do. But it's the Sharon Faulkners, it's the security managers, it's the building management companies, it's the real estate owners, it's the network. Our network is stronger, it's better. That's why we're winning. And with this partnership, and with what you do to support the Police Foundation, it's why we'll keep winning. Thank you very much.
Thank you again, Commissioner. On behalf of the Real Estate Board of New York, we're grateful that you joined us today. Thank you for your continued support of this organization, of this great breakfast, and your tremendous contributions to our industry. Have a safe and wonderful summer with your families, and we'll see you again next year. Thank you very much. For the awardees and the Management Board of Directors and the Commercial Management Council, please come up to the stage for photographs. Thank you.
see.
Perfect. Okay. I'm going to take like 3 or 4. So just smile. Something. Okay. One more. Okay. Thank you. Here we go. Thank you.
We're neighbors. Next door is another one of our buildings. Kenny and I won't forget Hollywood. How can I forget Hollywood? Good seeing you. Don't be strange anytime you want to come by. Excellent.
See you guys. Thank you.